Hello, my name is Kirioth, and it's time for another Monday Ramble. Another week has passed. Another 7 days. You know how long a week is. I try and make these like longer every time, and I don't know why, because there's only so many ways to say that it's another Monday. But you already knew that because you are a human being with a functional brain. Well, most of you. I can't speak for everyone on that, to be honest. There could be a few of you who are barely hanging on. But it's fine because you're here anyway, so you might as well enjoy yourself. So today we are going to take a look at not just the Sunday preview, because, once again, kind of dry the Sunday preview for the second week in a row. There was also a couple of models shown off. There was something at the Black Library online Warhammer preview library event, and also a new Slaanesh mortal we need to take a look at. We're just going to roll them all up into one video, because, frankly, there isn't enough in the Black Library one to make an entire thing about. There's only one thing I really want to look at, so we'll do it that way. We'll cover the Sunday stuff, so for the 6th of December 2020, and we'll also take a look at a couple of tasty models as well. How does that sound? It better sound good, because that's what I'm doing anyway. So, we start off with this here Sunday preview, Underhive Brains and Underground Games. So, what specifically do we have? Well, we've got some Necromunda and some Bloodbowl, a bit of Adeptus Titanicus as well. The Bloodbowl stuff, I'm afraid if you're expecting something absolutely mind-blowingly thrilling, that's not really going to be the case. Essentially, you've got some Dwarf dice and cards, and some Skaven dice and cards, and you've got a Dwarven and Skaven pitch. Double-sided by the look of it, I think? Yeah, double-sided, and you've got your various tokens and counters and so on, and an optional subterranean weather table. So that is what you're looking at for Blood Bowl. Nothing massive, but, you know, if you are a Blood Bowl player, there's some extra stuff for you there. Necromunda-wise, we have a House of Artifice. So this is Van Saar with all their mad mental technology, and we have the book, and of course we had these. Now, we have already talked about these lads. They're weird as anything. It looks like they've got better technology than the vast majority of the Imperium, and possibly even Mechanicus themselves. But I do quite like them. They're just very, very, very odd. They're just weird. I don't know what it is about them, but they look so not anything to do with 40k for the most part. Of course, you know, Necromunda isn't exactly 40k, but you get what I mean. The aesthetic on these guys is just so far removed from pretty much anything that we're used to other than themselves that it kind of takes you a moment to adjust, I think is probably the way to put it. They're interesting, they're cool, they're just so weird. I've decided, though, the two lads at the front, well, lad and lass, I assume, I really like those models. Those are really fun. Those are cool. Again, thoroughly weird, but there's something about them that I really like. You could do fun things with those guys. Now, beyond that, you've got some dice, of course. A set of gang tactics for House Van Saar as well. The usual. The usual is what we got there. The standard Black Library information that we got over the weekend was about the Hellwinter Gate by Chris Wright. And Wright? I always get that wrong. I always get it wrong. And that's about it. I mean, it's a nice collector's edition thingy right there. So, yeah, I mean, the inclusion of the dice is a nice touch. It's a fun touch, that. But yeah, I like the design of it. Again, not something that I tend to collect, the Black Library limited edition stuff. I leave it for those who really want to have those complete collections. But it does look nice. I will give them that. Now, we do have some Adeptus Titanicus, which I'm actually very tempted with. I like these guys. I like them because it's the Knight Atropos. It will say right here. I just got excited because Atropos. I always think that it's got no R in it, but it actually has. I really like these, and for a little while, I nearly ended up with the actual full size version of them, but then I ended up buying a Lord of Skulls and all sorts of nonsense, and so that, you know, the budget for that disappeared very quickly. Not entirely intentionally either. I really like that particular knight, and I think, once again, they've done a really good job of shrinking these down. I will say, the Adeptus Titanicus stuff, they do a very good job of maintaining a really good level of detail. The knights for that game are surprisingly nice to look at, given the size of them. You would think they would lose like a hell of a lot of definition, but no, it's actually pretty decent. The only gripe I have with these is that if it's anything like the other knights, like the Questoris knights that I've put together, the poses can be a little bit tricky to fully adjust, and those poses feel very static. Like, these models feel kind of statue-like in a way. There's not a lot of movement going on. They don't look very mobile. I think it's also the classic pose of just both weapons facing forward doesn't do much to kind of convey life. That's my only criticism of these, really, because they're tall. Like, the Cerastus Knights are quite a bit taller than the Questoris Knights, and as such, they kind of look a bit more awkward if they're in static poses, because they look faster. That's the only way I can put it. They're kind of more lithe, they're slimmer and taller, and so it looks a bit off when they're just like static posed like this. So that's kind of a shame. You should be able to mess about with the guns a bit, and you should be able to turn the gun slightly to make it look a little bit less static, but that's my main and pretty much only criticism for these. They do look decent, but they do just look a little bit lifeless. We also have got some merchandise. So if you'd like to show off your allegiance, then there's a bunch of collectible faction logo pin things. Yeah, they're okay. Not really my thing, but I appreciate that they are available to those who might enjoy such stuff. They do look decent quality, at least. Nice and defined. Good definition on them. And then White Dwarf-wise, there is, of course, a massive load of stuff. Those Spider Gobbos, I'm actually weirdly excited about. The Spider Gobbos are some of my favourite Gobbos, to be fair. The lads who ride the Squigs, the Gloomspite Gits, they are cool, but there's just something about Gobbos riding giant spiders that I have a soft spot for them, so I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be about. They just look awful. I don't like spiders, really, to be honest, so I don't know why I'm so fascinated with the idea, but there you go. There is also a Christmas video, which you should probably take a look at. I won't play it here because it will get immediately copyright claimed, and I can't bother to deal with that, but I will link this article in the description so you can take a look yourselves. It's pretty good, to be fair. It is pretty good. I do like it. And, of course, we have the usual stuff on Warhammer Live. Now, let us move on to a couple of models. So, let's go straight in with this, the Shardspeaker of Slaanesh, which I do like quite a bit. Yes, there is not a vast amount of flesh showing, but as I keep constantly going on about, much though it annoys many of you, but it's fine, Slaanesh is so much more than that, and the pursuit of perfection is so much more than just, having your tits out all day. And so, taking the more subtle approach every now and again, I do like it when Games Workshop do that. They can still look kind of over the top and outlandish and, overly fancy without just, going cock out the whole time. This, again, is a decent example of that, I think. There's a nice bit of mystery going on. It also is, again, in kind of presentation terms, kind of excessive. For like a battlefield sorcerer / wizardy type, there's a lot of decoration, there's a lot of trimmings, kind of a couple of significantly sized gems going on in the like on the belt and dangling down the thing. The shoulders are very kind of heavily ornamented. The hat is very over the top. Also, looks pretty cow-like as well. But the idea behind this model is what I like the most. So, the Shardspeaker, as it says, is relatively free of visible corruption compared to some of the other models in the range, but the abilities are far more insidious and subtle. Using a combination of sorcerous mists and a potent magical mirror, Shardspeakers are able to twist their victim's psyche, driving them mad and forcing them to confront and submit to their most shameful desires. That's the kind of thing I really like. That is where some of the best potential of Slaanesh comes from. It's not just sex and drugs and loud music. There's so much more going on, and there's so much more in kind of the pursuit of excess and perfection. Forcing your enemies to confront their most shameful desires is a very Slaanesh thing to do, and it's a really cool idea. It's something kind of pretty unique to Slaanesh, and not something that I think would really fit the other gods. The kind of expansion out towards that sort of thing to make it more, I don't know, make it a bit not just kind of skin deep is a nice move, and I'm liking it. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, I like the model, but I have to admit I like the idea behind the model even more than the model itself. And of course, you know, there is another good reason to like this model, and who doesn't love a bit of Power Rangers, let's be honest. Finally, we have this lad. We've got Uriel Ventris. Uriel. The pronunciations today are absolutely dire. I'll be the first to hold my hands up, which you can't see. I'll be the first to hold my hands up and admit that I don't know what is happening to my brain today. I cannot remember how to pronounce literally anything. I don't know that I've ever heard his name spoken aloud, to be fair. I don't know that I've ever actually heard his name out loud. I'm sure I must have done at some point, but way back in the sands of time, in the mysterious past, before we were forced to stay on our houses for the last 9 months. So Ventris has got a Primaris model, and you know what? The armor is pretty solid. The armor is good. I like the armor a lot. Still kind of relatively utilitarian, but with some nice bits of decoration on it. It's a little bit kind of customized and unique, which is a nice touch, but it's not completely unrecognizable. There's some good bits of decoration that aren't too over the top. The bolter looks quality. His sword, as always, solid. And there's a good cloak work there as well. I like the cloak. Again, doesn't look too bulky or chunky. It's not like that horrendous cloak on whatever his name is. Is it Magister Aemon? I can't remember. One of the Thousand Sons characters from Forge World who has like a cloak that looks like it's made out of concrete. This is not that. This is, again, actually quite a nicely done, good shaped cloak. You may be thinking, are you just trying to avoid the elephant in the room? And I am, because at some point we have to address his head. I'm not a big fan of the bear head. We all know this at this point. However, that haircut is something else. That is quite the look. Yeah. Maybe not perfect. Maybe not perfect. I just don't mind the face. It's just the hair is not. It's not doing it for me. It looks a little bit better from the back because the stubble's been painted. It looks a little bit better. A little bit. I don't know. Does it? No, I don't know that it does. I don't feel like it's translated all that well from the artwork. The artwork looks great, but the model's just not quite. It's not quite got it. Not quite got it. Everything else, fine. Everything else, really solid. Good model, good pose, good details. I like everything else. Don't get me wrong. The hair is not doing it for me. It's just not doing it for me. I'm sorry. Now you are probably sitting there thinking, well, who are you to criticise other people's hair? And you do have a point, but you know what? I can decide what I like, and I don't really like the Dwayne Dibley haircut. It's not something I'd rock myself, personally. Maybe there's someone out there who can pull it off. Probably not, actually, let's be fair. Anyway, that is the Monday Ramble. As the wrap-up for the stuff revealed over the weekend, along with, I think the Shardspeaker might have been last week? I can't remember. Time is a mysterious and fluid thing at the moment. So yeah, there you go. That is what is on the way. Some of the stuff that's been revealed recently. Any of it catch your eye? Anything exciting you unnecessarily, so to speak? Probably not unnecessarily. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things. Patreon, video subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like. Don't click it if you don't want to. And as always, there is an affiliate link in the description for Element Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.